Hi, so this right here is the new Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 Pro. It is an update from the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro from last year. Now, this phone, it has a little bit of history for me. In 2019, Xiaomi decided to come up with the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 and the Redmi Note 8 Pro. Now, for the Pro version, they did something that was a little bit different, and I think it's something I called a bit of a risk. Instead of going with the regular Snapdragon 730 or 720 or 730G that every other device of this caliber was running as of the time, they decided to go with the MediaTek Helio G90T, which was newly announced. You know, if you know me or you know MediaTek processors, you know I don't really like MediaTek processors because they are a bit I don't know what to put it. They have a lot of issues, overheating, no updates and stuff. So I was like, are these guys crazy to think of going with the MediaTek processor for this phone? So when it was released, I picked one up, I used it. I was surprised at the capability of that device. They even took it one step further by combining the MediaTek Helio G90T with the Mali G76 GPU that ran on Samsung's Galaxy S10 as of the time, and the result was phenomenal. So I started imagining what the Redmi Note 9 Pro is going to look like when it was finally released. Here it is. Let's find out. So the device comes in a white box as usual, and on one side of the box there's a text there that reads, with easy access to Google apps you use most. And that to me is a clear shade at Huawei, because Huawei devices don't support Google apps anymore. Inside the box, you are going to get a TPU case, you're going to get a quick starter guide, which I'm not sure anybody really reads those things anymore. Then you're going to get the 30 watts power charging brick, which I'm really happy they included in the box. This thing charges so super fast. And then you're going to get a USB Type-C cable, which, fun fact, the USB Type-C cable has red lacings inside. I really love it. And then the other thing is going to be the device itself. The device is still built in glass, both front and back. Corning Gorilla Glass 5 in front and Corning Gorilla Glass 5 behind, which is going to make it very durable. These are the same materials that were used in building the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro from 2019. The plastic is still framed though. The fingerprint reader has moved to the side of the device, which now doubles as the power button and the fingerprint sensor. And the fingerprint sensor is really fast, lightning fast, just like the one from last year. But the problem with this though is that it has become a little bit smaller than the one that was mounted at the back from the Redmi Note 8 Pro. So for those guys like me that have big palms, it's a bit difficult to reach it, or it's a bit difficult to touch it. But hey, that is just for me. For you, it might be different. Something else I noticed here is the fact that after your fingerprint is set up, when you push the power button with your thumb, which is obviously what you're going to use to set up the fingerprint reader, the device is just supposed to unlock straight. But sometimes the device will just wake up and remain on the lock screen. Then some other time it will just unlock straight up to the desktop, which is something I'm not really cool with, but hey, it's there. So I hope a software update is going to fix that. But outside that, the fingerprint reader is so fast that I am okay with it. And then this thing catches fingerprints just like the air you breathe. While recording this video, I spent half of the time cleaning the back of this device before I take any shot, because it is a very serious fingerprint magnet. Last year's Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro was not as magnetic as this when it comes to fingerprint. So that doesn't really matter, because most of you are still going to wear the device case anyway. But for those of you who will not be wearing the device case, this is going to be a problem for you. At the bottom side of the phone, you are getting a USB Type-C, and then you're getting a headphone jack. On top of the phone, you are going to see an infrared blaster, which is something I really love about Xiaomi devices for keeping the IR blaster. I use this thing a lot because sometimes, let's face it, you are lying down on the couch or on a sofa and you just feel lazy to get up and go and carry your remote or go and look for your remote. But you know one thing that will always be in your hand? Your mobile phone. So you can actually just use it to control your AC, use it to control your TV, use it to control almost everything that is controllable with the remote. And I really love the fact that these IR blasters are still on these devices. You don't really have that many options when it comes to the memories of this phone. Now, for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro from last year, you had many options. You could get a version that had 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gig internal memory. You could also get a version that had 256 gig internal memory and 8 gigs of RAM, 64 gig, 128 gig and 6 gigs of RAM. But on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 Pro, You only get a version that has 128 gig internal memory and 6 gigs of RAM, so you don't really have that versatility in terms of the memories. From the box, you get the MIUI 11, you also get Android 10, and you are getting the Snapdragon 720G this year. No longer a MediaTek chipset, which I don't know why, because it really worked well last year. I'd been using the phone for just about 2 weeks before I recorded this video, and the device has been working well. There had been no issues with the software or the performance. Now, it's not like I haven't had a cause to complain or I haven't had things I want to complain about. But hey, when you think about how much you're paying for this phone and all the specs it packs, complaining will not just be a fair thing to do. But one thing though I must really mention here is the amount of bloatwares that comes inside this device. Oh my god. It comes with 71 apps pre-installed. 71. Man, that is a handful, but the good thing here is that inside the 71 apps that comes pre-installed in this device, you can actually uninstall about 70% of them. You are allowed to do that, unlike most other devices. And also, some other thing I also noticed is that some of the bloatwares that comes inside this phone, they are quite useful. Like, I found a few of them to be very useful here that I use, but if you are an Android One guy, or you are not really into this kind of stuff with plenty of applications, you can uninstall everything and then download what you need. This display on this device is an IPS panel. It's 6.6 inches in size, which is just 1 inch larger than the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro from last year. One thing I gotta give you for Xiaomi here though is the fact that this panel is really bright. It's really sharp. The colors are on point. It's not every time you are going to see a budget device or a mid-range device with such a good LCD panel. So this one really works well. Sometimes I'm always out there on the road, I'm going somewhere, I'm doing stuff, and I've found myself bringing out this phone under the sun or under heavy lighting, natural light. And I've been able to use the phone without any issues because I can still read my Twitter feed, I can still reply SMS, I can still just go through the phone without having to cover my hand on the device or run into somewhere where there is light in order for me to use the display. That to me is something that is really awesome. If you pick this device for the first time, one of the first things you're going to notice is how heavy the device is. And that is because it comes with a 5020 milliamps battery instead of the 4500 that came from last year. And this has actually improved the battery performance of this phone. Not really that much, but it at least is better than the one from last year. This one can actually take me almost half of the day before I'll have to charge it again. Now, I'm a heavy user. I've recommended this device since it came out to a couple of people that have bought it, and I was talking with one of them yesterday before I actually recorded this video, and he told me that the device takes him all day and he has to charge the battery maybe around 5 or 6 p.m. because he is not really that much of a heavy user, but he is in the middle in terms of how much he uses. So the battery is really that good. And the 30 watts fast charging that comes inside this device charges this device in just about an hour 20 minutes or an hour 40 minutes. I can't really place, I've forgotten, but I think the maximum I've spent charging this phone is about an hour 40 minutes. And then the device still comes with a quad camera setup just like last year. Now, the camera specification is still very much the same as last year. The only difference is the macro camera, which has increased to 5 megapixel. Else every other camera is still like the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro. We have a 64 megapixel main lens, we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle lens, we have a 5 megapixel macro lens, and then we have a 2 megapixel depth sensor. When you talk about the selfie camera right now, you're getting a 16 megapixel front facing lens instead of a 20 megapixel from last year. But one thing I notice here though is that even though this is a 16 megapixel lens, it has a better HDR than the one from last year. Now, you guys let me know down in the description if you would like to see a camera comparison between the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 Pro and the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 Pro, okay? One thing though that has not been fixed here is the fact that this camera takes pictures with the different sensors with different color profiles. So sometimes you take a wide angle image, the color temperature is different. You take a close shot, the temperature is different. And then you take a portrait shot and the temperature is different. By default, the device takes pictures in the 16 megapixel mode. You have to manually switch to the 64 megapixel camera. And when you switch to the 64 megapixel camera, what basically happens is that sometimes you take a picture, it just gives you a totally different color from the picture you take. Now, this doesn't happen often. It just happens once in a while, but it's something I thought you need to know. But outside of that, this phone has taken some of the best pictures that any budget smartphone right now in 2020 has taken that I know of. Just in case I didn't introduce myself from the beginning, my name is Kingsley, and it's been awesome having you on this channel. On this channel, we talk about technology, we talk about tech gear, we talk about tech reviews. So if you like good technology content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, alright? And also share this video with your friends. I'll catch you again in the next video that is coming your way shortly, alright?